G'day guys, it is Matt Wilson here. I play Aaron Brennan on Neighbours. I've just done an exclusive interview with the fan carpet, so make sure you keep watching. Like, unbelievable. Like, I'd like to point out as well that when we shot this, we didn't have a bunch of extra money to shoot this episode. We didn't have extra time. We actually shot an extra half an hour for the week, so we shoot 6 episodes in 5 days every single week, and we had to squeeze in an extra half an hour. It's already a tight schedule, and the level of performance that everyone got to was outstanding. I was blown away. This is almost film quality, and films get production budgets that are through the roof, and we've just created this. I can't wait to do it again, and it validates why we do this, and it makes everyone happy to. It inspires you to try your best, because this is what the end result can be. And the feedback we've had from the audience and from everyone, it's incredible.
It's great.
I was
a bigger fan now, just with the whole huge success.
Yeah. Well, I always remember this one thing. When I was a kid, we saw a soap star out in public, right? And it happened to be Chris Hemsworth. And we were watching him on a soapy in Australia when we were younger, and one day we went to like a rodeo or something as a family outing with my 2 sisters, and we saw him standing there. And this is just him amongst his mates, just going out for some fun, and the inspiration that you get just from seeing somebody like that, it's incredible. And we spoke about that day for months and months and months. Well, look at me, I'm talking about it today. And to think that I'm actually in that position now. I was the fan, and then now I'm that guy.
How does it
bizarre.
How does it feel being that guy now?
It's good. It's good.
Are you digesting it all in?
I am digesting it. Yeah, and I'm taking it as it happens. Obviously, everywhere you go, people will recognise you. People ask for autographs, so you've always got to be ready to have your photo taken. You can't muck up like you used to.
Brilliant.
But the part that I like the most about it is, like, a few weeks ago I went to Perth and we went to a hospital, a children's hospital, and we saw some kids, some which were terminally ill, and they were in their bed, their hospital beds, which they've been in there for a year. That's their bedroom. And our presence, just being there and talking to them, made their day, probably made their week, might have even made their years. And we got messages from their parents afterwards saying, like, thank you so much, we've never seen her this happy. And just the fact that we didn't do anything except be there, and we didn't talk about anything except what they're into and what the weather's like and stuff, but the impact that we had just from that is so powerful.
It must feel really rewarding as well.
Yeah.
Just to know that. That's fantastic.
That's what I like the most about this job.
Yeah. No, that's great to hear.
I think if anybody knew the secret, everyone would be doing it. There's not many shows in the world that can run for this long. And I'll point out, run for this long and then do what we did last night. Get over 1 million viewers to tune in to a show that they've seen before, they know the characters, and to do that all over again. I don't know what the secret is. No, we always pitch ideas. Like, whenever we do have the freedom to sort of talk to the writers and everything, and it's always like they've got an open door policy, so we can go and say, hey, I'd like to see my character explore this or explore that. There is a few things that I'd like to explore, like, this is pretty childish of me, but I'd like Aaron to save the day. I'd like him to be a hero for once, because he's a bit weak at the moment. That's one thing, but the most challenging and most rewarding storylines are the stuff that's happening right now, where you have to go to these dark places in your head, but the result that you get is what we saw last night. And so to have that, even to have that on your show reel,
it's gonna look great.
It's gonna look great.
Awesome, man.
Hey, no one in Erinsborough is honest. You've got the Dr. Carl Kennedy, and he cheats on his wife. What's that all about?
seriously, Carl, sort it out.
Yeah. But the continuing theme with Aaron is that he always seems to be getting himself into trouble with the law and everything, but he's always innocent, and he always does it by mistake.
Yeah.
Because he never learns a lesson. And sometimes I read the new scripts that come out, and I've already made the mistake 3 times before, and I read it and I go, "Oh, Aaron, you idiot! Why are you doing this again?"
Is there any messages you would like to probably tell Aaron, like, any messages or anything to say, dude, seriously, man, you gotta just learn from these mistakes.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Any advice?
I would say I think he has a bit of anxiety about making sure that everyone is happy with him.
Yeah.
I'd like him just to focus on himself for a while and not everything else and everyone around him, and relax in a stressful situation. But you know what? If Aaron was like that, you wouldn't want to watch him.
Simple as.
No, I think everyone has a bit of their own character in themselves, and that's what happens when you're a full-time actor with the one character. So, but I'd say Aaron would, and Matt, I'm quite forgiving as well, and I always give people the benefit of the doubt. If somebody does something that puts me out, I always say, oh, maybe they did it because of this, maybe they did it because of that. Yeah. And sometimes it puts me, I lose, you lose money. Or sometimes it does with Aaron as well. Yeah. It gives people the benefit of the doubt and they take advantage of him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's probably the most similar, I reckon.
Yeah.
Thoughtful of everyone else, So if there was a plate of food here and there was one piece of cake left, Aaron couldn't sleep with himself if he ate it and you didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice one.
I'd love to have more screen time with Dr. Carl.
Okay.
Just because he's so funny and he does what he does. Aaron's got a lot of stuff at the moment that we're filming now with Paul Robinson.
Okay. And
working with Stephen Dennis, that is one of my favourite things to do because he's the smiling assassin. Yeah. When you're in a scene with him, he affects you so much that you take a back foot, and that is actually really helpful as an actor. If the other person is affecting you a lot, then the scene is working properly, and he does that so well. All of the above. Okay. You're starstruck, you're concerned about upsetting people, you're concerned about upsetting the crew, because we are on such a tight schedule that if you drop your lines, you're worried that they're not going to get the next scene in time, and then you put the camera guys out, you put the mic guys out, you put everyone out. Yeah. And I was really anxious about that when I first started. But on my first day I went in and I saw Alan Fletcher, I saw him drop his lines about 4 or 5 times in a row, and no one batted an eyelid. Everyone was just, yeah, that's fine, yeah, alright, we'll pick it up from this point, and went straight back into it. And if the king of Ramsay Street can drop lines and no one really cares, no one gets upset by that, then that made it a lot easier. And then there was one of my first couple of weeks in there, I had to do some material that was challenging for myself, and I was still nervous about the job. And I think Jackie Woodburn came over and said, "Hey, why don't you try this and do that instead?" And so they're all really helpful. It's nothing like I'd expected. There's so much support there.
You feel like a massive family that's got each other's backs.
There's no better way to describe it. Yeah.
That's great.
We're always joking. We're always laughing.
That's fantastic, as it should be. It'd be absolutely insane if it was like someone's in peer pressuring someone else, and it's like not having that family touch and just getting along with each other.
No, exactly. There's no jealousy, there's no divas, there's none of that. It's the best workplace you could be in. Well, I'll start with Scotty McGregor. Okay. You, mate. He is the biggest prankster.
Really?
Yeah, he actually, just before we wrapped filming, I came over here, I went to walk into costume at the end of the day, and he did the old bucket of water on top of the door, opened the door, and it's just gone all over me. Travis, he's a legend, and he's a prankster as well. I think he went up to Scotty one day, and Scotty went to put his uniform on and put his hands inside of his pockets. Yeah. and Travis had actually filled them up with talcum powder.
Yeah. Great.
So they're full of powder. There are some people that you respect and you don't want to prank them just in case, but everyone has a good time.
Is there anyone you want to prank, but you just feel a bit?
No, I think we're everyone who I want to prank is pranked.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
It's reciprocal.
So, yeah.
You'll get each other back.
Yeah.
It's always, if someone takes a bad photo or a screenshot of something, you'll usually print it out and you'll stick it on their clipboard or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny.
Do you guys like do photo bombs, selfies, all that jazz?
All of that stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Right, awesome. That sounds really good. I'm going to watch out for Scotty and Travis.
Yeah.
If I do come over, and I don't want to be pranked on set and all that, you know.
Yeah, hit them up about it.
Yeah. Probably, I'll get you to do a bucket of water on there.
I like that idea.
Great. We'll stick with that being the first.
I think I relate to them equally, both the same, but they're very different, and they're actually quite similar to their characters. So I use the analogy, if we ever went to go out on a trip out somewhere, right? Because we actually all live in the same suburb within walking distance of each other, so we hang out quite a bit.
Okay.
If we were to go out, we're like our characters in the way that Scotty would probably make sure his shirt is perfectly ironed, just like Mark Brennan.
Yeah.
Travis would probably lock his keys in the house, just like Tyler.
Yeah.
And I would probably forgive the taxi driver if he charges too much because I feel bad because I don't want to make it an awkward situation.
Okay.
Which is just like Aaron.
Great. Cool, man.
No, not at all. So I started doing acting as a hobby, just with some friends, and we'd go to acting class like one night a week. And then whenever somebody was making a short film, I would always put my hand up. Some friends of mine made a movie a couple of years ago in my backyard, a zombie film, and then when we released it last year, it became the most downloaded movie in the world for a whole week. Yeah.
Was it on YouTube?
It's on Netflix in America. It's it's on iTunes and stuff. It's called Wormwood, but that's another story. But anyways, the point of that was I helped build some of the sets. I was a zombie. I was like an extra. I was behind the camera filming it. But it's just fun. And I love being around the whole production of film sets. So that was just a hobby for me. And I'm a carpenter.
Oh.
And I've been a carpenter in Australia we call it a chippy.
Yeah.
It might be the same here.
Yeah.
So I've been a chippy for 11 years. And
was that before being an actor?
Yeah, and whilst being an actor as well. Like,
oh, wow.
Like I said, it was just a hobby.
Yeah.
And I got asked to audition, and I did the audition just like any other audition.
Yeah.
But I got the role, and this role meant that I couldn't just take time off from carpentry. Like I have to quit altogether. So.
Okay. And how's it been since?
Yeah, good.
Great.
I mean, what's your hobby?
My hobby, aside from filming and interviewing, I like to draw. So
there you go. Imagine if someone paid you to draw every day. That's what it's like for me. Like literally doing the thing that you love the most, but it's a career. I don't know how often you get that opportunity.
But probably once in a blue moon. But once you get it, you stick with it. And And the fact that you can do your passion every day, the thing that you love, I think it's just amazing. It doesn't 1 in a million. It's not a billion.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work. It's just a big ride. A big wave, and I'm riding it now.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I kind of like the best of both worlds. Ideally, I'd like to be able to do film projects as well as Neighbours, just because I love Neighbours. And I'd like to explore other characters as well.
Yeah.
And that's just all part of the art of acting, really. You want to try and embody other characters and go to places which are so distant from yourself.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do. There's quite a common character. They have a lot of films have the wounded hero who is quite guarded and stuff like that. I'd like to, and conflicted inside. I'd like to explore some of that. Yeah. Aaron's not really a wounded hero at all. Just for. I don't know, just for fun, just like I'm doing Neighbours, just for fun. Cool. So, I'd like to just try as many different characters as I possibly can. I really look up to actors who go there completely with the character. So they change the way that they walk, the way they talk, the way they speak, the way they laugh. Everything is so far detached from themselves. I'd like to find a character where I can do that. The ones that I like, that I look up to the most, well, Hugh Jackman, he's one of my biggest. He's a triple threat. Such a nice, like a good representation of Australia. But some of the guys that I look up to, like Jake Gyllenhaal, Matthew McConaughey, Ryan Gosling, a little bit, Tom Hardy. I really like the work that they do. So
pretty cool. But have you met any of them, like, you know, Jackman and Hemsworth?
No,
I haven't. I'd love to.
I don't know what I would say.
Just be starstruck. Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Probably faint. No, let's say. Okay.
But where do you start? Like when there's someone that you look up to so much, and you know so much about them, but they don't know anything about you. Where do you start? Yeah, slight teasers, without giving away too much. At the moment, I'm working a lot with Xanthi, so Lily's character. We've got some stuff coming up soon where our characters sort of cross paths, and then that relationship really builds into like a big storyline. And that, like, I'm really enjoying working with that. Lily is putting so much effort into this, all while she's doing school via correspondence. Like, she's got so much on her plate, but she's excelling with what she's doing. And the relationship that we've got going on is really good. We're trying to hint to the writers that Aaron and Sonia can hang out again, because she's fired him. And that was a good relationship, so we're trying to make that one happen again. But there's only just now am I getting back to the lighter type of funny content again, which is a bit of a relief, and it's fun to play. But it stays dark for a while. Unfortunately. Poor Aaron. Poor Aaron.
I know, right? How are you going to take him out of the ditch? Out of the ditch.
I know.
Anyway.
He always comes back out. That's guaranteed.
You know, goes down. He has a massive hit behind his back, but he comes back twice as stronger.
That's good.
That's good.
That's what I'm trying to get across, and you just picked it up.
Right.
I was expecting a bad reception, but for a number of different reasons. We get warned about trolls on social media and stuff before you start by the publicity team, and they prepare you for bad trolls, and it just hasn't happened. And all I've got is support the whole way through. And I was even on set a while ago where we did a scene with some lobby group from the LGBTI community, and they actually had the actual lobby group come in, and they were all the extras in the scene. And it wasn't until then when they came up to me afterwards and said, "Hey, thank you. By the way, everything that you're doing is just perfect. We believe it. You're representing us in the perfect light. So thanks for what you've done." And you never really get that bounce back. It's like when you, as an artist, if you draw a painting and you put it in a gallery, you see people walk past and look at it, and you see their reaction. You don't get that with what we're doing. We film it, and then 3 months later it goes to air, and you forget about it, and people see it. You don't realise how much of an impact it's having. But so far, it's been so strong, and I'm proud to be playing one of the only gay characters on Australian television. Which is a bit sad.
How does it feel? How does that feel? Do you feel like there? Of course, I'm sure you feel there should be more. Why do you think there's been a restriction, or probably not a restriction, or why do you think there hasn't been so many LGBT characters on Australian television?
I don't think there's any reason at all. I think
it's just never been done at all.
Yeah, that's right. And Australians, we don't produce too much television because we're always watching either UK or American shows.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's on our screens. So it's funny that way. But no, there should be more. And like the gay characters on television in Australia are everyone's favourite. Like everyone sort of barracks for them and thinks they're hilarious, and like it should be celebrated more, like reality. And soap shows, we're a reflection of reality, right? And that's how people relate to it. And if we don't have characters that represent the truth about reality. Like, there's so many gay guys and girls in our society, and if they're not reflected on the shows that are meant to be about reality, then we aren't doing our job right. So I think it's really important that we do have the proper representation of the whole entire community there.
Okay, that's great.
The stripper? Yeah. That was my main concern.
Yeah?
I try and avoid the dance floor at all costs.
Okay.
And then I got asked to dance on national television in front of millions of viewers for someone who can't dance, and I'm meant to be a professional dancer.
Did you watch lots of YouTube videos? Did you like practice in front of the mirror, you know?
So many.
Really?
That's not a joke. I watched so many.
Okay.
And after I got my first routine, and I haven't told anyone this, I've actually still got it.
Right.
I won't show you the video. So I'd get my routine, I'd go into the apartment, into my living room, shut all the curtains and blinds, set my computer up and just film myself doing the routine.
Oh, brilliant.
And then I'd watch it back and I'd go, no, I need to move my hips more here, or no, my arms are uneven here, or something like that. So I was doing that and I was so nervous, even in my living room with no one watching.
Like, what did your girlfriends think at the time, or like your family when they all saw it?
Oh, loved it. Loved it. I've got, my older sister has a couple of young boys.
Yeah.
And as soon as it went to air, they watched it and started dancing.
All right.
In front of the television.
Yeah.
And then now, whenever I go over to their house, they go and rip their shirts off and start dancing. And I'm saying, why have you got your shirt off? And they say, because you do it, Uncle Matt.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you started a legacy with your own.
I hope it's the right one.
Want to be a dancer just like you, Uncle.
Yeah. Very cute. I'm Matt Wilson, and you are watching The Fan Carpet.